What's up, guys? I'm back with another tournament breakdown video. This happened December 7th, so I'm making this the day after, December 8th. This tournament was the Deep East Texas Qualifier 4 on Lake Sam, Rayburn. It was a cold and windy and wet day yesterday. Lots and lots of fish to be caught still. Rayburn's fishing really good right now, and I just wanted to hop on here and break down what I did, how I caught my fish, and the other options to how you could have caught your fish, because there was a whole lot going on this weekend. There's a whole lot going on right now. Any lake. I'm out here today on my home pond, and I mean, same stuff's happening, so maybe you can apply this to where you fish or how you fish. All right, I'm gonna just hop right into it. So this tournament, we started really shallow in practice on some creek bends where we'd seen bait, lots and lots of bait in all depth ranges right now, but those shallow creek bends, and I mean shallow, 5 to 3 foot of water, are holding fish. I was out there, there was bait, they were just stacked up on certain creek channels, stacked up on the bends. The fish that I found were usually not directly on the bend of the creek, but somewhere around 20 to 50 foot off of the edge of it. And they were just stacked up there on these little hard spots. And the baits that me and my partner used to key in on them were, first of all, this Gamakatsu underspin, which you've seen in my previous video. I talked about it a good bit. This is actually a lighter version because of how much shallower I was. And this is, instead of the bait I had last, I can't remember what it was a whale, I think. This is a 6 Sense Divine 4.0 swimmer and live gizzard. Great bait for really getting up shallow, catching those fish. Since they were so stacked up, if you didn't hook one, cast back in there, catch another one. I mean, it was cast and catch for probably 10-15 minutes during tournament and during practice as well. So I threw this on a Dobbins 7.3 medium heavy, again with that 7.4 to 1 Corrado K. That would be on 15-pound fluoro, Seaguar fluoro. There's no real reason to use 15 over 12 in that situation. I just did. I thought I was around stumps. I mean, I never got one wrapped around a stump, but that's just how I like it. Like I said, that underspin's great this time of year, whether you're offshore, up shallow, fishing with live, or even dragging around on the bottom. You can really crawl that underspin and get it, do whatever you want to get those fish to bite. And our second bait that really caught some fish this weekend would be a 3/4 ounce red eye shad. And I can't remember what color this is specifically, but that same area where those creek bends were, this bait would catch the smaller fish in the 2 to 3 pound range, and then the red eye shad would catch the fish in the 3 to 5 or 4 to 5 pound range. And we didn't get all of those bites landed, which is how it goes in tournaments. And like I said, this bait, just hopping it on the bottom, crawling it like you would that one in the up shallow application, ripping it, just making it erratic, getting a reaction strike. Actually, a lot of times you get the fish fired up with this bait and then throw in there with the underspin and catch 2 to 3 while you're still hooked up with this one. And I mean, overall, lots of fish caught on those shallow bends. It's not happening everywhere. It's happening in a few spots. And oh, something just blew up. It's only happening in a few spots. Not like really happening all over the lake. I'm not gonna say where it was, but there's spots no bigger than the front of your boat. They're really small, and there's not many of them. In fact, we couldn't even duplicate this in any other creeks that we tried to go into, except for 1 or 2. And yeah, that's how that went. I threw the red eye shad on a 7 foot medium heavy moderate fast action Dobbins Fury. This is a good crankbait rod, trap rod, jerkbait rod. It's got a really soft tip. I like it. 6.2 to 1 gear ratio on a Corrado K. Now I threw him on 12-pound test just because I like the sensitivity. I like the response I can get with 12-pound test, and it's just a little bit more stretched because that line diameter is smaller. Keeps them pinned. Yeah, that's how we caught most of our limit fish that morning and throughout the day. Kind of got blown out because it was so shallow water and some boats pulled in on us, but it is what it is. Now, to target the bigger fish and the offshore fish, there was a mix of baits that we threw, including a Demiki rig and a rig, but those just caught little fish, the Demiki rig especially. Couldn't find any of those big ones. They'd go up to it, hit the brakes, and for no reason. So that's why we didn't have a giant fish. And then for the really, really big fish, we slid off into some trees in certain areas where gizzard shad and crappie were. And really, when you found those gizzard shad or crappie in the trees, you'd find those bigger fish. You'd find fish that are 7 to 9 pounds in there. Couldn't make any of them bite, but the bait that I got the most reaction out of was this Zal Dangerous 6-inch swim bait. I can't remember what color this is. I mean, this one really got them fired up. I'm actually whacking them out here on it today. Probably caught 5 or 6 5-pounders on it today. I'll throw that on a 6-inch 710 broomstick. It's just what I personally like. 20-pound fluorocarbon and Corrado. What is this Corrado? This is a Corrado 200M, I believe. Really great swim bait rod and reel. Like I said, 20-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon, Invisex on everything. Great line. Yeah, so that bait, if I saw one on live, say 4 to 7 pounds, I'd fire that swim bait out there, just keep it over their heads. They follow it, and they'd either tap it or they just hit the brakes and leave. Today, out here on this lake that I'm on, I'm reeling it, and they're just coming up and going crazy on it. I mean, it's just unreal. That's my second swim bait of the day to go through. Yeah, so what I really found offshore-wise was bait and trees. If you found crappie, gizzard shad, bluegill, big thread fins, which is hard to find if you kind of think they're gizzard shad most of the time, but if you found any of those 4 bait fish out in trees, 18 to 30 foot of water, there was going to be some bigger fish around. Couldn't make them bite, but that's basically what I did to try and find my giant fish. And then up shallow to find the bigger fish, I actually picked up this 6-inch draw 6.5 and 4K shad, and actually lost a really good one early yesterday morning on it. Just doing on the same deal on those shallow hard spots off the creek bends. And yeah, that's basically how this tournament went. No real great success. 8th place, 14 pounds and some ounces. Would have really helped to have bigger fish, but just can't make everything bite, and you can't land everything. So that's what that is. And if you have any questions about what I did, where I did it, or just want to follow up with any of these techniques, feel free to comment. Follow my Instagram. You can send me a message at Ben Burke Fishing on Instagram. I'll probably respond. Yeah, so that's just how it went. Maybe you guys can apply it to your fishing, and thank you for watching.